Welcome to the 20-Minute Talk Show. I would like to introduce Mr. Dana Veitch, founder of KissCam LLC. It's a very interesting app, and he'll give more details about that later on. And so now we're going to begin the 20-Minute Talk Show. So, Mr. Dana, thank you for joining us. Do you mind talking about KissCam and how it started?
Well, it's a very interesting project. The KissCam video segment has been in the arenas in the United States and Canada only. And the cameraman in the arena, it's a surprise video. They upload the couples and they're shown up on the Jumbotron. So sometimes it's a couple and they kiss. Sometimes it's a brother and sister and they go, no, 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 or it's the wrong set of people. And so the story goes, it's been around for about 20 years. It's been shown in the Staples Center in Los Angeles all the way to Madison Square Garden. It's in every major sports arena. Everyone loves it. They stop and they stare before they go to the concession stand. This is gold to the advertiser. And they do sell advertisements. And the KissCam video is only shown in the US and Canada, North America. No other arena or stadium or venue around the world or any of the other sports leagues utilize the KissCam video segment. But people know about the KissCam video around the world because of course, the YouTube videos and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's amazing how it's grown all over the world. So where did you get the idea in starting your company?
Well, as a matter of fact, I was on a date at the Nuggets game, the Denver Nuggets game in 2011. And they started the video segment of KissCam. And I asked my girlfriend, who's going to kiss who if the camera comes to him? And she goes, I'm going to kiss you. And I said, great. Well, we're amongst thousands of people, and I'm looking for that camera. And it never came to us. And I'm thinking, well, okay, but how many people in the arena wanted the camera to come to them to be uploaded on the Jumbotron? And so we just continued watching the game and whatnot, and I guess the next day, I got on the computer and just searched KissCam. There was nothing out there except for the YouTubes. There was no kisscam.com, etc. So I registered the kisscam.com, kisscam.net, TV, USA, about all of the other dots. And then I checked to see if there was a trademark out there with KissCam, if they owned it. Nobody owned it. So I hired some capable attorneys here in Denver, and they did a worldwide search. Nobody owned the KissCam trademark. So I said, okay, go ahead and let's file a trademark worldwide. So we first went into the US, and then we went into Europe with the Madrid Protocol, Asia, and essentially I own the trademark in all the developed countries.
Wow, interesting. And that's cool how you got that idea. And so what are some of the challenges that you faced in starting this company?
Well, that's a good question. I've been in the oil and gas business for 35, 40 years in the contract side. I am not a technical guy. And so here I am going into this social media arena. And so we built the website and we built the app. And to make a long story short, we launched the app mid-July, and it's been well received worldwide. We have almost 2,000 downloads inside a month. And so we're doing well. A major sports league has approached me to see if there's any synergies to utilize the KissCam app and their sports games. The challenges have been, I don't have a staff. I have experts in all of the fields: technical, advertising, editing, graphics. And it's exploding. I'm in meetings, people are contacting me constantly. So we're just working through it, and I appreciate you asking me here to talk about it after meeting you all at the rise of the rise of the risen or something, yes.
Yeah. So some of the challenges is recruiting people and developing and partnering with people. So how do you build those relationships with those people and partnering with them?
Well, my background in the oil and gas business is contracts and negotiations and working with the right people for the right project. I'm kind of a project manager by trade. So I've learned a lot. I've made some mistakes, but I network and I meet people. People come to me and say, "This is a great idea, let me help you." They introduce me to people. I learn something every day on I should go this way or this way with it. And so we have a focus. We have a proposal on the major sports league's desk to integrate the new social media, social KissCam, and have the app utilized to send in your picture or video rather than having the stadium cameraman shoot it. And then we upload all of the videos. And so we're there. We've got some good proposals out.
Nice. So what's the biggest change from the oil and gas industry to the social media industry? And do you feel any challenges there or any frustrations in switching to this new environment and meeting all these new people?
I'm not discouraged by no means. It's just learning these apps. We have an ad campaign. We have the Facebook KissCam and a major ad campaign going around. We are on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Pinterest. And so I'm picking up the phone talking to my two sons about how does this work, how does that work. I've talked to the experts who are handling this. And they say, "Dad, no, do it this way or that way." I'm learning a little bit about the technical side of it. I'm not a technical person. But again, I have the experts in these fields that really, I'm very fortunate they're committed to me.
Right. Yeah, it is fortunate to get all that help, entering into this new environment. And so can you tell me, when you develop this app, how you contact your clients and how do you market, what your market strategy looks like that at the beginning?
Well, it's really attending these events where we met each other last week and just talking to other people and just recommendations. I don't have any blogs out there. We have, again, the website and the app, but that's just for the users. So it's just networking. Now, back to how it relates to the oil and gas industry, if you think about it, it's the same networking. It's just talking to people, going to these events and these, don't want to call them conventions, but you meet so many people who are eager to work with each other.
Nice. So what are your plans for your company for the next 5 years?
What my plan is to continue with the app. Everything's running smooth, and we are approaching the sports leagues. I do have a proposal on the desk in South Africa with the ASEM organization. And they organize the cricket and rugby leagues down in South Africa. So our plan is to reach out to these foreign sports leagues around the world. And everyone's interested, but the challenge is explaining to them how we could utilize it and tie it into their system during their games. There are certain sports leagues that it fits better in, such as soccer, cricket, baseball, compared to the hockey games and the faster moving ones. So that's fine. We've got plenty of leagues, plenty of the world to cover.
Nice. So where did you get the capital investment for starting your business? Did you raise money for that, or is it from your own?
Actually, it's been self-funded from the beginning. And so we are to the point, really 90% of the cost is been taken care of. I am considering bringing in partners. I want to get further down the road with a couple of contracts, and that will really help the value of my company.
Nice. That's great. And so, other than the work, what else do you do?
I continue to work oil and gas, domestic and international refined. I trade refined fuels internationally. As soon as I wake up, I jump on my Skype and see what's going on with my partners around the world. And then I've been in the business so long in the United States, people contact me to see if I would buy their interest in wells. These are small interests from individuals. So I am very, very busy.
Great. So what's the first thing you do in the morning?
I log on Skype and talk to one of my contacts in Cape Town, South Africa. Talk to my contacts on the status of deals in Houston, Texas. And we go from there. And then I have the KissCam people contacting me. I'm contacting them. KissCam takes most of my day. And then right now we are just on a big social advertising campaign on all of the apps, the Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and we're taking the numbers down because that'll be of value to me when I talk to future investors. And we've got great numbers already.
Nice. Speaking of family, so how do you get your family involved in your idea? Is your family involved in helping you with your business?
My oldest son is 26. He's actually in the oil business, but he's helping me as far as of course, that age group and what they think, what they like. That's what I'm always picking their brains. And then I've got 26 years old, and then I have another son, 21, who is over at the School of Mines, a senior over there, very involved in studying. And so I talked to him and pick his brains too. It was interesting because my son that was in the School of Mines was over in Austria for last spring semester, and so he met people from all over the world, and these students. And I would say, get some impact, get some feedback. What do you think? And so he brought back and communicated some very valuable information on Europe, various countries, and the whatnot. So I'm constantly talking to them and the people who are working with me on the social media. They're leading edge, know how to get the word out.
Nice. That's awesome. So what have you learned from starting your company? What have you realized? Some mistakes, maybe?
Well, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to deal with these major leagues to sign a contract. The mistakes are, my biggest mistake was back in 2011-12, I hired an independent web designer, and then we went and we hired some independents over and some developers, and we built a successful app and the website, but it didn't have the correct security. They didn't know essentially what they were doing. About 6 months later, a virus came in and took my website down, and it was locked. So we were down for about a year. So my advice is to get quality people. If it takes longer, it's worth it. Because I was probably dead in the water for 2 years. And our launch this last July was from a great developer, Kiwi Tech. They're based in Washington, D.C., New York City, here in the Denver area, and then they have 400 developers in Mumbai, India. So I essentially worked with the developers, the team of 18, to build my app for about 4 months. And during those 4 months, I was on the phone with them early in the morning or late at night because of the time difference. But it was a large platform, and it works great.
That's very inspiring, and learning from mistakes, and so that we don't repeat those mistakes. So what's your advice for all entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, if they have an idea, and how they can really impact and change people?
Well, what's interesting is everyone gives me another avenue to take. I won't go into it, but yesterday it was suggested to take this route or this route. So you have a chance to weigh all these out. So just sit back and think about the most logical and to time to market. Don't rush it, but just hand them a quality project. What I learned was, rather than coming up with a business plan, I went ahead, again, self-funded a website and the app. So the other partners and future investors can look at it, touch it, feel it, look at the numbers. So some people sell a business on a business plan, but you bring more value the farther down the road that you can actually show that your project, your business is viable.
Right. So do you have any fears, or did you have any fear while starting your company? And how did you stay confident that it would work out?
Well, I was very lucky because this was not a brand new mousetrap. Everyone knew about KissCam. So I knew I had something. KissCam's developed into a brand all its own. So I was all that far down the road. I wasn't coming up with a better travel agency on the internet or a better music source. And so people stop and realize about KissCam. Everyone knows it, they love it. And other people said, well, I'm going to start a Huggy Cam. And I'm saying, okay, great. Well, let's see how far that gets you. Are people going to stop and stare and watch? Well, probably not as much as KissCam. And it's a proven advertising revenue. And so the revenue model is essentially data gathering and the advertising sales in that order.
Nice. Yeah, So do you have any role models? Who are your role models? Who inspires you?
Well, in the tech side, for instance, Steve Case, who we saw speak last week.
Yes.
He started AOL. He had a vision. And you listen to these guys and these other panels I've gone to, and it wasn't easy. He was giving you statistics on they might have 1,000 users over the period of a week at the beginning. And they're thinking, this is at the beginning of the internet. And then it finally came on, and then it got picked up more and more. And that's kind of where I was at the beginning. I was starting slow, and now I just got a report coming into our meeting today that I jumped from 15 to 20 downloads to 150 downloads last night. So this is snowballing, and I'm just learning that how this social media works. It's a word of mouth, not only the advertisement, but it's the word of mouth is more effective.
Yeah, Steve Case is an awesome entrepreneur whose his success in starting AOL. You're correct. All the challenges that started, and that weekly review. And so, what are your hobbies that you have? Do you have any hobbies?
Oh yeah, I stay busy during the winter. I snow ski, and I go on day hikes. I live in the foothills west of Denver, so I can walk right out of my house. And I have a big yard with a good-sized garden, so that keeps me busy during the summer. And so I'm kind of a semi-homebody, but I like to work around the house and fix things. And I work, all hours of the day and night.
Yeah, that helps you balance it out and not just doing work all day.
Right.
And
I realize
having
that.
Those,
right.
Right. So we only have about 2 minutes left.
Yes.
So do you have any pieces of advice for all young entrepreneurs?
Study the market. Look at your competition. If you're one of 10, you've got to be unique. The fewer, the less competition, the better. But on the other hand, look at other companies that are out there that similar product that you have or offer, and look where you could make it just a niche better. That's what I did in the oil business, and I was very successful. I saw how the big companies did acquisitions and mergers. I went in for a niche and got it. So know the product, the business line that you're proposing your new business.
Right. I'll keep this in mind. And so we have 58 seconds left. Describe yourself in one sentence.
Always thinking of a new idea.
Great. Always thinking of a new idea. Yeah, thank you for coming. I
You're
enjoyed all the wisdom that you've shared. It's really inspiring and inspiring to me. So I'm sure it'll be inspiring for everyone else.
You're welcome. And if I can, and KISS Camp can do anything for your cause, please let us know. I'll be happy to put you up on the website, app, or get anything that's going on with your the deaf cause.
I would love it. That would help out a lot.
Please stay in touch.
Will do, definitely. Thank you for coming again.
You're welcome.
All right, so thank you.